Okay, so final game, final day. All Bridges Burning. First time I played it, been wanting to play this for a long time, and finally got a game to the table. I was playing the Moderates faction, otherwise known as, I would guess, like a mediation faction. There's like really not a like analog in other coin games. They're kind of like this central position. They're trying to keep the war from breaking out. They're trying to solve these government issues to make things sort of more expensive for the other players. And they're trying to keep polarization, which is this track here, between the reds and whites low to try and win. Then they just got to amass a bunch of money. They're like the centrist position. Really hard to play them. They don't have a lot of pieces, as you can see. And they're mostly focused in the cities. That's mainly where they're going to be doing their activities. I've learned some things. This game has really interesting interlocking systems that are like very subtle and don't really shine through until you've played a couple of turns. I think we were still struggling even at the end to figure out exactly how one thing affects the other. Certainly you can see the pedigree of the designer in terms of working on the system and understanding how to like make all of those things turn and how that affects other things. This game was a Russian win. The red player, he just basically threw Russians in the way of an armored train that came out of Lhasa and some Jaegers. The white player actually did, I think, pretty well. He actually like fortified Helsinki, and he started to get the offensive operations going. I think what really changed the game here was that we got right after the first propaganda card, we got phase 2 of the game. So in the game, phase 1, none of the red or white units can move. They're just preparing for the war that's about to come. And then in phase 2, when it flips, it's based on either a second propaganda card or total number of units on the map. That switches it then to a much more mobile war, and then you can attack the other players. You can use your assets that increase your combat strength. And we had some Germans land down here as well, so the white player can coordinate the German activities. And so in 1918, the Germans start to enter here. There's also Russians, but you don't see them because the communist Finns didn't even need them. There's a Russian unit up here. And then there's this whole politics thing where the moderate player is trying to get these laws passed. It's a really interesting game. The action matrix for 3 players is actually very... it's really intuitive, but it doesn't look like it. But like based on what you take, the other 2 players can also take 2 things, and then that determines your starting order when you come back. So there's this conceivable possibility that everyone gets to act on every card, which is also interesting. And so like, you know, it's not quite the binary, I see an event coming, I need to pass so I can prevent other people from getting it. There's like another wrench thrown into there. And so the events, I feel like in this game, take more of a backseat than the activations on your mat, because you're more focused on affecting the board. There's no guarantee you can get the event that you want. So that's pretty interesting. I'd play it again, definitely. There's a lot of layers here, it feels like, a lot of depth, and yeah, it's a 3-player experience. I always say there's a lack of 3-player war games. This one I think is a really interesting, meaty one. And it's the final day. Red Storm underway here.
Remember?
Yes, here it is.
How's it going?
So you look up the condos.
Oh, there it is. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Swooping in, and we're slowly creeping up. They just ran into some of our this fire can that shot.
But I don't have an aim. Yes, I do.
Is this the Baltic approaches? Yeah.
Okay, so I've got a range.
Or no,
I've got a 9
that's
mine fighters.
Oh, this is the core game.
I'm gonna bring my fires up. They got a range of 9, so they're gonna try to. It's not
so
good
he's
to
up
go on their
low,
side of the front.
partial acquisition.
But I've got to get you.
Looks very intense over there. We just finished All Bridges Burning, which I just showed you. We got not 1, but 2 games of Imperial Struggle happening this afternoon. There's some other stuff being played. Most people are peacing out for the day. It's really a nice day today. Here's the Mons 1914 playtest map in its entirety with no counters on it. You remember from earlier, we had that engagement with the Germans over here, and you can see the terrain. It looks really nice. I really like Jeff's map style. Here's Mons. Imperial Struggle, making some progress. Salerno still set up. There were some folks playing things over here. The Paths of Glory game is still going. I think they're going to continue. You can see the Italians have come in. Looks like the Austro-Hungarians have their hands full there. Western Front, pretty static. Looks like the Germans have taken Sedan, lots of reduced units. Eastern Front, Russians. Looks pretty static. Here's the Middle East, Near East. Yeah, that's about it. It's wrapping up today. I'm about to head out, and it was a good time. I played a lot of games, as you saw. I know that there's some controversy about my comments about U.S. Civil War. I just want to mention that that is a game that I will play again and definitely want to play again and enjoyed most of my time with. And it is not an indictment against the designer, so let's chill out, okay? All right.